Hello everyone, welcome to All About QA channel. In last video, we have discussed how we can change the position of the JOptionPane Show Confirm dialog box, and we changed the position of Show Confirm dialog box from the center to the right bottom corner. In today's video, we are going to see how we can take the user input from that dialog box. What I mean to say is, let me run the program. If you'll see here, when this pop-up appears on the screen, the user is going to enter some value, right? Let me enter some value here. The first text box is for the header, maybe something like this. The user may enter verify login. On the second text box, some file name the user may want to enter. So once the user enters these two text values, we need to receive those values from the pop-up in our program so that we can process it in the further programming. So let us see how we can do it. I'll just close this one. And so here we're going to write, so as soon as I'll click on the OK button in the show confirm dialog box, that time this if condition is going to valid, that means it will be true, and we are going to write our code here. This is not for the screenshot, the code to take user input. Now the question comes how we can take that user input from the dialog box, right? So if you can remember here, we have created two text fields here. One is a T header, another one is a T file name. So this is the text field where we are going to enter the values. I mean the user is going to enter the values. So to receive that input, what we can do is I'll take that object which we have created previously for the header. I'll give a dot. If you write here get text, you can see here one function named as get text is available, which is returning a string. So when we'll give this, we'll give a semicolon. So this get text is going to return me whatever text that the user is going to enter here in the T header text field. So I can put it in a string value here, string. I will give header maybe. So we can get the header in this variable. We'll take this from get text and we'll save it here. So for the file name, we'll similarly create another variable here. Same way we'll receive the file name here, right? I'll just change this header to file name. Let's keep it a cap. Let me take another variable here. I'll just take string tr output maybe equals to, initially I'll give null here, then I'll put it inside here equals to, we'll concatenate these two string header and file name that we'll receive from the user. I'll give a delimiter here, then I'll take the file name here, give a semicolon here. Okay, now let us try to print it out and let's see whether this is working or not. So I'll just print this one. Let us see whether we are able to receive these two parameters from the user dialog box or not. I'll just run it here. So okay, I'll just try and test case 001 verify login, paste it here. I'll copy it, give it a okay. Okay, fine, it is working here. You can see here in the console here we got the header input here tc001, then the delimiter is there, then we have tc001 as your file name. So we are receiving the input here. Now the question comes, these two fields are not mandatory for the user, right? If the user wants to enter these two values, then this is okay, they can enter. If not, then we have to provide some name for the file name, right? So without file name we cannot save the file. So in case the user is missing both the things and clicks on OK, let us create some file name here. What we can do that over here is, if we'll give str file name, we'll just write it here, give it a dot, if it is content equals to null. So that means the user is not entering any value in the file name. That means if it is blank, then we'll come here and we'll set str file name to some string here. I'll just give a name screenshot. Later we'll see how we can use this one. So let us run it and check how does it work here. verify login 001. Okay, so when both the values are entered, this is getting printed correctly. Let us keep this name here. I'll just enter here. I'm not going to enter any file name here. Let us click OK and see what value is coming here. So the word or the header is coming whatever the user is entering, and the file name it is taking as screenshot. When the user is not entering anything, that means the str file name value is null here. That means that is blank. So when it is blank, it is automatically setting that variable name to screenshot. So the file that is going to be saved with will be the name of the file will be screenshot there. Now let us return this output here. Whatever value we'll get, that is with the header, delimiter and the file name. We're getting error here. If we are given it to a void here, that is the reason. We'll keep it string here. Now yeah, the error is gone now. So this value, this method is going to return some value here. So let us catch the value here. It's for the Word document input, right? So we'll just save it here. So whatever a value that is going to be returned from the function here, that we're catching it here. Let us give a sys out here to check whether this is working or not. We'll just try to print this value here. Let me come here. There is one more. We'll just comment this out. Let me run this one and we'll see how is it working or not. Let us run it. So in the first time we are going to give both the values. We'll give this one and then we'll give test case 001. Let us run it. Okay, so both the values are coming here. So we are receiving the data correctly. Now let me run it once again. This time we are not going to give the value of our file name. It will be null here, I mean empty. Now let us give a OK. So you can see in the first time it is the word header and this is the file name. So this time this is taking from here in the if condition, because our file name contains blank, so it is returning the value screenshot, right? Now you can observe one thing, that the frames are still open here at the bottom. If you can see here, even if we are closing the show confirm dialog box, still the frames are still open. This we have discussed in the last video as well. The reason is being in the else part we have handled it. We terminated the program once we click on the cancel or the cross icon, but the frame is not been handled within this if condition. That is the reason still the frames are open here. So we can see here from this function we are returning this str output. So this will be received here as the string str word input. After that, for the temporarily we can give this one the same line. I'll just copy paste. We'll just terminate the program inside this main method for the timing. So once we'll proceed with our coding, we'll place it in the right position. Now let me close it manually for the timing. Now we'll test it once whether this is working or not. Let us run this one. I'll just put test, then I'll put test. I'll click on OK. So you can see now no frame is been there. Program is getting terminated here. That is why this is being grayed out in the Eclipse and the inputs are properly coming here. Now let us see the overview here. So what we have done so far. So we have created two packages here. I'll just expand here. So we have created two packages here, initialization and utilities. In the initialization package we have init Java class. This is the class within which we have our main function, and within this main function we have created one object of JDialog class. JDialog class is available here, that is part of your utilities package here. I'll just expand. So this class JDialog has two methods within it. I'll just minimize it. So one is fn generate dialog, another one is your set look and feel. So in the first line here in the init class we have created an object of JDialog class. Using that object, first we have called the set look and feel, that is the second method. I'll just expand here. This method we have used to set the look and feel, the system's look and feel to our dialog box so that it will look better. I'll minimize it. And in the third line we have called another function fnGenerate Dialog in the gDialog class. This is the first class, and here we are returning the value of our header and the user input file name. So those two values we are concatenating it using one delimiter. So this is our header, delimiter, and our file name. The reason we have given a delimiter because in future we are going to split the entire string using this delimiter. So this is so far what we have done here. We can do one thing here. So these lines of code is to set the property of the frame. So rather than keeping these lines of code within this function, which we are going to call it repeatedly, let us cut these lines of code and we'll create another function and we'll keep it there just to set the frame of the property here. I'll just create a function here. Let us give the function name as set frame property, and I will just paste these values, and at the bottom we'll return that object here. The frame object will return from this function. Give it a semicolon here, and this cannot be void here, so it should be jframe. Now we will call this method from the main method here. Let me call this one dot set frame property here. Now this is going to return me a jframe object. So let me receive it in jframe. I'll create an object here, njf. So now let us pass this njf within this method here. I'll just put it here. The reason I'm passing it here because I'm using this object here, the frame, right? I'm passing it here in the show confirm dialog box. That is the reason I'm taking this parameter here, jframe. I'll take jf. Let us see if there is any error exist. No, absolutely fine. Okay, so what I've done is I have created another function just to set the frame property, like the way we have done to set the look and feel of our JOptionPane. Similarly, I have created another function to set the frame property. That method is going to return me one JFrame object here. The same object I have passed it inside this fnGenerate dialog. Why? Because this function is going to use the frame object here. This JOptionPane show confirm dialog method is going to use one frame object. That frame object I am passing it here in this fnGenerate dialog method as an parameter. So let us see now. This class is having three methods within it. So with that we have completed the first thing here. The first pop-up is completed. We have created one header text box, file name head box, text box, one OK button, one cancel button, and we are able to receive the user input as well. So in the next video we are going to create another pop-up that will be used to take the screenshot and put it in the Word document, and we'll put it inside this for loop. Thank you for watching this video.